really do. You're a 21-year-old punk fucking kid. Grandpa's given you everything all your fucking life. You've never had a car payment, a house payment. Everything you live in was given to you by Grandpa. You fucking don't know what it's like to work for a fucking living like I do, to bust my fucking ass and do what I do. And you know what, Sean? You fucked me, and that's the way you got it. But you know what? Your grandpa's money will run out someday, and you'll have to feast for yourself. Get a fucking job, you piece of shit.
Welcome to Behind the Smoke podcast, barbecue war stories with Sean Walchef. That's me from Cali Comfort Barbecue, and Derek Marceau, Valley Farm Market. What's going on, Derek? How we doing?
Man, doing good. Everything's going well. Just trying to work out the soreness from the last 2 weekends of getting my ass kicked at Over the Line.
Getting your ass kicked. Is that what you call it when you're bringing home world championship trophies?
Well,
you're sore from carrying those trophies that your teams won?
Yeah, no, my teams did absolutely phenomenal this year and brought home 2 world championships. We swept the Opens finals, women's and men. And
how many teams are competing? So over the line, for people that are listening, I mean, we're very fortunate to have people listening all over the world, but Over the Line is something that's very specific.
It's
a sport.
It's different. You play it in the sand, and it's basically like a 3-man softball.
Okay.
And you don't necessarily have to, you're not running to the bases and stuff, but you have 3 guys that are hitting the ball. You got to hit it over the line and in between the sidelines and hit it over the back guy's head. It's a home run, and you just basically count as 2 bases, so 2 runners on. Next one is a run, and get 3 outs. So we play that, and there's over 2,000 teams that come out and play. 2,000
teams in the men's open division?
I think that's total.
Total. Mm-hmm. So, 1,200 in the open division?
Yeah. And then we got the top 24 in the Century division. The Century division is your combined ages are at 100 or over. And my open team with, Taylor, Justin, and Mike, they won the whole fucking thing. They don't lose one fucking game.
That is unreal.
Yeah.
So there's this full page article in the San Diego Union Tribune.
But the women's did the same shit. They didn't fucking lose one game until the finals, and they were in the winner's bracket. So they had to get what we call double dipped. So they actually lost their first game to tie wraps, and then they came back and put it on the last game, and it was fucking exciting, man.
And you guys have won the world championship how many years?
3.
3 for men's and women's as well?
I've won women's twice now.
Women's twice?
Yeah.
So you have these trophies and you have photos and all that cool shit.
We threw it up, and we're actually gonna, have a pretty big barbecue for them here coming up soon. We'll throw that up on our social media and stuff, but I'm gonna make them some cool shit, man. It's people don't understand the art that this game is.
Yeah.
It's a fucking art to be able to hit this ball over that line and do it wherever you want. People think, I'll just come up. I was a baseball player, but I'll come up and I'll just hit it as hard as I'll fucking catch it. I mean, it's not, you got to hit it away from me. If you hit it to me, I'm catching it.
Yeah.
So, and the guys don't use gloves. So it's a bare hand game, and the women use gloves. But it's definitely an art, and the time and effort that Whitney, Savannah, and Kelsey put in at the women's team. I mean, every time I was talking to them, they're, we're out hitting. We're going to do it this year, Derek. We're going to do it this year, and they didn't disappoint at all.
That's incredible. I mean, the athleticism, exactly what you say. People underestimate that because Over the Line, the weekend in and of itself. Tell us a little bit more about what actually, why it has the reputation that it does have.
It's just a big fucking party. The first weekend is teams that aren't seeded, and people come out. I mean, guys will come out in skirts, and they're just playing around, drinking. It's one of the
team
only
names.
Oh, the team names.
They're like barbecue team names, except they're kind of censored.
They're a little
bit worse.
Very censored. I mean, there was one that was like, if you want 12 inches, we're going to need a 4th guy. Just like people make up these fucking, or that's
fantastic.
This one got, hey, hang in there, Aaron Hernandez. That was your team name.
Seriously?
Like, too soon, bud. Too soon.
Is it though? Is it?
Right. So they do, names like that, and it's pretty funny.
How about the women's team's names? You got any good ones for me?
Oh, I'm sure I don't remember them right now. But the majority of the teams that do go on and get in the top 16, none of them have those names. They're all sponsored, and thank God, because I wouldn't want like Valley Farm Market like take my sausage or something in the paper. So
yeah, so I do have a question for you. So this photo that's in the Union Tribune, it has Justin celebrating, and he's got some hang time. How much higher did you jump in that photo that I saw of you?
I jumped probably about a tenth of what Justin's
Get the
jumping
fuck
right
out of
now.
here. You were like full extended. I'm like, Derek, you shouldn't be able to leave your feet like that.
No. I mean,
Did you shake the ground when you came back down?
I did. No, there's
That's
no
a hell of
question
a
about
photo.
it.
Who took that photo? That was fucking fantastic.
It's actually one of my customers. I
Really?
was actually playing her husband's team.
Really?
And she's like, oh man,
You're like, oh, he's out there
take it
making
easy on
plays.
him. Like, I don't know. I just have to. I have to go hard every time I play. So there was a few times I've jumped and definitely shook the ground. I just fucking shook my body for sure.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, that was a huge accomplishment for both the men's teams and the women's team.
Yeah, and for you guys listening, if you guys haven't looked at Over the Line, YouTube it, Google it. It's fucking really, really exciting. You'll see what I'm talking about. It's kind of like more of like a festival, and people camp there. We camped there both weekends, took the trailer down. And
it's put on by OnBack.
Put on by OnBack in San Diego, and they have tournaments in Arizona. They have tournaments all throughout California, and ESPN actually asked, like, I don't know, in the 70s if they wanted to take it and say, hey, let's run with this. This is a rad sport, but you have to change your name, or the team names have to change. They can't be so raunchy. And OnBack was like, fuck you. This is a beach sport. This is what we're going to do. And might not be the best business, thing that they did, but
well, they stayed true to themselves. And
yeah.
I mean, that's something that people appreciate, especially OnBack for the traditions that they've been able to do. I mean, how many years? This is
64, I think.
64 years. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Plus, they do a lot of good in the community as well.
They do a lot of good in the community. They're actually, this year, they kind of had a little bit of some issues with some of the parking and the trailers and stuff, and it looks like they're starting to come into the email era and the new technology, and they're going to...
some push notifications?
Yeah. 'Cause, I mean, it was just kind of a clusterfuck, to be honest, and I think now they're like, okay, we need to really start getting with the times. So
yeah,
I'm actually really excited about that, and I'm also really fucking excited about our guest today.
I know, right? It's been that was probably one of my last suppers before my son came. On Wednesday we recorded with Craig, so that was June 28th, and then right after we recorded, we went over to go meet Chris, our guest today, Chris McAfee from the Smok'd Hog. Welcome, Chris.
Welcome, Chris.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
We're fired up to have you here. It was kind of serendipitous the way that everything came together. Corey, who's our producer and social media manager and marketing manager, he lives close to your shop, and he's been scouting you out and hunting you down, and he got connected and was like, let's find out more, and he set up this meeting so we could come out there and meet you and try your food, and fuck, we had a great meal.
You had to roll me out of there. The amount of food you guys gave us, I was like, Jesus. Corey was telling us about it, and no disrespect, but it's like a smaller little place, right? It's like a quaint little place, and
small.
I can relate to that because my little barbecue shack outside is a little, kind of unassuming sometimes. We're like, oh, what is that? And,
yeah.
But man, I walk in there and it's just like, this is it.
Yeah.
You can just tell by walking in, like, this is going to be fucking good.
Yeah.
And then we fucking had you rolled us out some food, and I was just like, jeez, man.
We had some fucking amazing sandwiches. We tried pretty much everything on the menu.
That's why I think he fucking gave us everything on the menu.
I know, pretty much.
About half of it.
Yeah.
I try to hit all the regions because that's, what we like to do is try to get all the different regions of barbecue on that menu, and then change it up and bring in different ones, whatever we can bring in, we'll bring in.
So you guys are located where in San Diego?
It's on Park and Robinson,
Park and Robinson,
Hillcrest, North Park, really close to the zoo.
Okay, really close to San Diego Zoo.
Yeah, and Balboa Park. If you're in that area, please stop by.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So how long have you guys been open?
God, we're close to 3 years now.
Nice.
November will be 3 years. So it was the day after Thanksgiving we opened up.
Oh, that's fucking...
Which is a weird day
great.
to open up.
Well, you didn't have to worry about fucking turkeys.
Yeah. Oh, no employees at that time.
Right.
No employees at that time. It was just, open up, bank account was zero.
Yeah.
We need to make some goddamn money.
Right.
So, we opened it up. And
by we, who's we?
Me, it was me, David.
David's business partner? Or?
No, he's actually my oldest employee. He's still there.
Right on.
And then my former business partner.
Awesome.
Yeah. We had to open up and we did it. And
so tell us about the dream. What made you jump off the fucking cliff and decide?
I was just gonna say that. What the fuck got you into barbecue?
When did I lose my mind?
Not just getting the barbecue virus, but when did you lose your mind? I mean, you can get the barbecue virus and then you're like, I fucking love to, smoke meat and I love to cook and I'm going to compete and I'm going to try out an amateur contest or a pro contest. But I mean, once you fucking jump off that ledge and you go, oh, well, I need to raise money. I want to open my own restaurant.
God, it's all I've ever done since I was young. My first job was, I was 13 and I worked at the convention center making sandwiches at a sandwich stand. Always been in the service industry.
13.
Yeah, 13.
You get a waiver?
It's crazy, right?
I like it.
It was a Super Bowl year.
You're forging docs. I'm 16.
So they didn't ask for a doc. It was crazy. I was actually home alone and they called the house and I was sick and I happened to pick up. So the guy, I don't know if he thought I was age or what, but I was like, yeah, man, I'll totally work for you.
No way.
I'd love to.
This guy cold called your house?
Yeah, well, I worked for him for the Super Bowl.
Okay.
It was when Denver and was it Oakland? No, it was
Denver
Oakland
and
Green Bay. Yeah,
Denver and Green Bay.
And I worked a stand for him.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, they were just taking whoever, document, no documents, it doesn't matter.
Super Bowl's coming.
Yeah,
I mean, the economic impact, everyone's just
Right.
hire whoever we can. We need all hands on deck.
Yeah, I think by the time I was like 16, and not even 16, I didn't even have a driver's license. When I was like 15, he used to just give me the keys and leave. He was like, yeah, you got this. So, I've always been in the industry. And I would say probably when I was...
Was that your first job?
That was my first job, for sure.
Was working down at the convention center?
Was the convention
or for
center?
the Super Bowl?
Was for the Super Bowl, yeah.
And that was what, making sandwiches?
No, that was, he just had stands out in the street and you were selling merchandise.
Okay.
But his actual business was making sandwiches in stands in the convention center.
Did he teach you anything about business that you still use to this day?
Oh no, God! I mean, and maybe
hire a
he
bunch
did.
of underage kids.
maybe he tried, but like, shit, at 13,
I whatever, dude. Just give me my fucking money. Where's my paycheck?
Holy crap! I got money.
Yeah,
go spend this at the arcade.
That's funny.
So I've always done that, and I would say probably around 19, I wanted to own a restaurant. I actually worked when I was 17 for the Brigantine Corporation.
Okay.
And I remember him coming in, and it slips my head. The guy who owns it, is it Mike?
Yeah, Mike.
He came in and he talked about his business and how it was like the Brigantine first, then it was Miguel's, and I worked at Miguel's. Mm-hmm. And in my head, I'm like, man, this guy's a local guy from San Diego that started this small thing. It's something I would love to do. And at that time, it was just,
that's crazy. So he just
were you at the one in Point Loma?
Yeah, the one in Point Loma.
Nice.
Yeah.
So he just came in and like, this was like a staff meeting and
and this was when it was just the Brigantine and Miguel's at that time. It was still small.
That's crazy.
Really small when I worked there.
It's actually really cool to think that, his speech or whatever he said at some point, sparked something in you that gave you, hey, fuck, I can do this myself.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, staying in the business and that's what I wanted to do. And then, you go to college and I just did junior college and art school and was just kind of bullshitting and passing the time. Mm-hmm. And then when I was getting ready to, transfer to a 4-year, I was like, man, I want to open up a restaurant. I don't need to go to a 4-year college to do this. Like, I get this already. Like, let's fucking do this. And then, probably 7 years later or something, started making those small steps. And that's all it was just small steps. Buy the pit, do a little bit of catering. Mm-hmm. Okay, apply for a business license. One step after, just small steps. And next thing you know, fuck, 3 years or 2.5 years of opening up a restaurant. You own a restaurant and you're grinding.
Right.
And then it's real.
Yeah, then it's fucking real. So how did you and your former business partner, how did the idea come about?
Well, I was always supposed to be front of house.
Okay.
It's what I've done forever. And don't get me wrong, I've done everything. I cooked, I washed dishes, anything. It doesn't
if you're
matter.
in the hospitality,
You do
if you're, you fucking do. If you have an opportunity to do it, and you do the absolute best fucking job possible.
Absolutely.
You find out who's the best at the job, and you learn from them.
Mhm.
Because
Absolutely.
that's how you move up.
And so I was going to be the front of house, and he was going to cook and do the barbecue. And the barbecue was more his thing, and that's what it was going to be. And you know, things
This was just a
changed.
buddy from school.
From
or
school, from school,
that
yeah,
you
from
grew up
school
with?
that I grew up with. And
Had
and
you
that-
guys raised any money?
No, the money was credit cards, loans. I had a good amount of credit when we opened up. So taking a loan out with no balance on credit cards was easy.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was time to max those credit cards
Right.
out,
Yep.
you know, and really just gamble. Even then, I would say, God, 6-7 months after being open, you know, then I could take another loan out on the business, which gave a little bit more breathing room. But 2.5 years and we're chipping away at that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's close to being zero.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty
Which would
much.
be
I mean,
bad.
that's kind of like unheard of, you know, to
Yeah.
be able to pay back everything right away, and
And a lot of it-
2.5 years. That's
Fuck
that's,
yeah, it
that's
is.
awesome.
I mean, I would say what's helped me is having my other job, bartending at night. I just, whatever
Your other
I
job.
make. Yeah, exactly.
So you own a fucking restaurant, and you work your fucking ass off to make sure that this restaurant, and you're only closed on Tuesday, which is why we're recording today. And today you still have a bunch of shit you have to do
Tons of
for the
shit.
business.
Yeah,
But
I'll
you're
be
telling me you
working
have
all
another
day.
fucking job?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah?
And I work there tonight. Bartend 5 nights a week at the Hard Rock Hotel.
talk
How long
about,
have-
talk about insanity.
How long
right?
have you been doing that?
Since it opened, so 10 years. 10 years there.
Fuck.
But I've been bartending downtown for 14 years. 14 years. I've seen crazy change down there.
So you have bartenders there that they work 5 shifts just like you do, and then they go and they're like, oh, I'm so fucking tired, like I work my ass off. And then you go and you wake up, you go home to your family, help your family as much as you can. You wake up in the morning and you go and you fucking open your barbecue restaurant.
Nah, they don't work as many shifts as me.
But they still bitch and complain.
Yeah, of course.
But not even going home. He goes home to his family. And he
Yeah.
has a
Yeah.
1.5-year-old and a 6-month-year-old. I mean, that's he's got 2 little girls, and I mean, that's just got to be.
It's crazy, but that's as difficult as it sounds. It's not. It's life. That's what it is.
Well,
Like,
it's your passion. It's what
Exactly.
you love to do. And like, not only are you making money bartending, but it's helping you fuel your dream.
yeah, your last podcast with the head guy of Del Mar when he's talking about finding that hobby and making
Right.
it your thing. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It really is. Nothing makes me happier than being in that restaurant and walking out and asking the guests, how is everything? And then being like, oh my God, it's amazing. Like seeing somebody smile.
Right.
That's what I love. And that's why I've been in this industry so long. Like legitimately like serving people and making sure they have a good time. It's great. I love that. That's
Yeah, Sean
what I
always talks
really
about having like
enjoy.
that hospitality in your blood.
Yeah.
You know, and that's,
It is.
that's what
that
it-
blood test that you're trying to, I mean, certain people, we know because we hire so much, but we know when we meet somebody else that like, this is just how you're wired, and you're
Yeah.
wired this way because you love to take care of people and you love to be involved in the project.
Absolutely.
You know, like that controlled chaos where it's like, fuck, we're going to shut down the road and we're going to invite, 25 amateur barbecue teams and we're going to have live bands and we're going to like, why are you doing all this crazy shit? You're like, because we love to do it.
Yeah, it's what you do.
You absolutely love to do it.
I mean, just when I was bartending and people are like, oh, do you like it? I was like, man, I get paid to come in, bullshit with some people, talk with them, meet people I probably never would meet. And I get paid really well to do it. That's crazy to me.
Sure.
And sometimes you
I
can see
still
their
enjoy it.
attitude kind of change a little bit. Like, oh, he's actually really happy now.
Yeah.
He came in kind of
Yeah.
bummed out, and now he's fucking gave him a few drinks, and now he's like happy. He can change people's days.
What's great is working at that Hard Rock. It's a hotel, so you got people coming in and convention people. So 3-4 days. So I might meet somebody on the first day they're there. By the third day they're leaving. We're buddies, man. It's cool.
Buddies, they're fucking
Yeah.
buying barbecue
Yeah.
at your shop. What are you talking
Absolutely.
about? That's
Absolutely.
like couldn't be better marketing. It's that you if you're a great fucking bartender, you're gonna trust not just what drinks you recommend, but you recommend anything, and they'll listen to you because people are. One thing that people don't get credit for is people are good bullshit detectors, and like especially at a bar. Our bartenders, I mean, they do such an amazing job telling people who they are and helping them and understanding who they are.
Yeah.
If you understand someone, what they drink and what they like, guess what? You can you start a friendship.
Oh, yeah. Bartending is a great profession to like learn to read people.
Oh yeah.
I mean, shit, it takes me 2 seconds to be like,
Right.
all right, this guy wants to sit and talk.
Yeah.
Or, maybe they don't want to be bothered. Maybe they're on their phone and they're doing business and want to have a cocktail. And you respect that. That's fine. No big deal.
Mhm.
But, yeah, it helps a lot in this business. Having been in the restaurant in so many fields has like totally helped me in like owning a restaurant.
Sure. Because you've worked for a corporation, you've worked for, a small company like the Brigantine that's now a big company, but you've seen, different facets of the front of the house, different facets of the back of the house. That stuff helps you understand, well, this is how I want to do it.
Well, it starts to work on efficiency too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because now you schedule out your day, everything you have. That's why you're saying it's not really that hard. Well, it's hard when you're looking at it, but now that you're doing it, it's like, well, I'm pretty efficient at the things I do. So now that way I can get through the day and it doesn't seem as
and then even
crazy.
on the big scheme, like the utter chaos
Mm-hmm.
that ensues, like whenever you're on the floor, you're bartending and a waitress or anything along those lines, when stuff goes wrong and you've got to make decisions to get through it.
Sure.
And not only do that, but make sure that the people on the other side don't see that.
Yeah.
It's the same thing in running
that's
the
an art.
business.
Yeah,
like when you're
absolutely.
running that business and things start collapsing on you, there's no shutting the doors.
No.
You don't quit. You
Mhm.
don't leave. It's just everybody that I've known that's good, that's in this industry, has that shit. Let's make it happen.
Like, oh yeah.
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 Well, the whole place could be fucking burning down, and you're looking at them, and it looks as if everything's just a normal Monday.
Yeah.
Well, I truly
absolutely.
believe that there's people in life. It's like some people run to the fire,
Yeah.
and some people run away from the fire.
Absolutely.
I think
Some
we're-
people build the fire and
Yeah.
fucking party inside
Dance
the fire.
right inside. Yeah.
Like, I'm going to it, man.
Yeah.
That's,
It's like let's
where
make
we're
more
going.
fire.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about the bartending. Like what kind of Hard Rock, they've what's happened down in Gaslamp since Petco Park was built. I mean, it's been a revitalization of downtown San Diego, and
Absolutely.
something that for us, all of us that have grown up here, the only reason you'd go to downtown San Diego before Petco was to go to Spaghetti Factory.
Yeah, I was just
And
gonna
like,
say that's funny.
and it was sketchy too. It was like, it was still fucking sketchy. I'd go with my grandfather and my grandma, and it was like, should we park there? Should we not park there? But now you have so many thriving businesses, bars, restaurants, cool places to go, boutique hotels,
Shit, even breweries now.
fuck yeah, exactly.
Monkey
Breweries.
Paw fucking killing it.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
My
That's
shit.
awesome, dude.
Yeah, it's really, really cool what they, what's going on down there. And what do you think Hard Rock's been able to do? I mean, 10 years, Hard Rock's a brand, a worldwide brand.
Absolutely. Man, it's a beast. It's a beast. That we did Intervention, which was our major pool
Huge.
party. Huge. Andy Hertz, Justin Zotz, and Joe Barber, like, were the guys in charge of it.
Mhm.
And what they did and what we did, I look back on, and I'm happy to have been part of that.
Yeah.
Like, to this day, and I can't think of it ever changing.
Were you bartending during
Oh, yeah.
Intervention? So
Oh,
you were
yeah,
up top?
Yeah,
So you,
absolutely.
Oh, wow. Fuck, you were
I
in the
bet
shit.
the,
Oh my
the
God.
scenery was not too bad, huh?
Oh yeah, like shit. I only looked at the ice well, just going. But it was unreal. And I think about it now, in the whole California, that whole West Coast, I can't ever see a bigger party being thrown again. Like,
Yeah.
it was unreal what we used.
How
to
many
do.
years did it go?
I think about 5 years, and we currently now they bring it back for like holidays.
What do they call it now?
Well, on Saturday we do Sunburn, but then they do bring Intervention back.
Yeah.
And we brought it back. I think it was 4th of July.
It was like fucking
Yeah.
MTV Spring Break. It was like
Yeah.
unreal.
yeah,
Unreal.
it was a show, and just being part of it and watching it grow too was insane. Like the first one that we did wasn't even a stage, to like the stage getting bigger and bigger
Mhm.
to this massive stage they had built.
The
at the
DJs
end
you
of
guys
it.
would bring in.
Yeah, that lineup every year was just already made. It was an event, man. It was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and just working with all the people that, like, when we did it, we had a good time. We were all a little bit younger, so it was
Sure.
go hard for about 9 to 10 hours, and then you would go hard right
And then you go hard
afterwards.
right afterwards. You wake up and you do it all over again. I know. We're
That was
getting
great.
too old for that shit.
My buddy, one of my best friends, he's a was the GM for Sidebar. He just he's kind of getting out of the industry, and but it was, you know, after a while, it's like, fuck, I can't just keep pulling all these like late shifts, and you know, he's getting 35 and he wants to do something else, and now he's gonna actually do some gym stuff. But it's like you go hard and then you go harder, and it's fucking, it's tough. It's tough to do that all the time. Every night. And then people expect it sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, let's go. I'm like, oh, I don't fucking want to. I just want
to go home.
I need an intervention. Fuck all that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I need a water intervention.
The holidays are the worst. They were just like, you know, a double Friday, a double Saturday, Sunday, a double. And then, you know, if you were the poor sap who had to open Monday morning, that's what it was, you know.
Inventory on Monday.
Yeah, exactly.
Good luck counting those bottles.
Right.
New Year's Eve was always the worst, and Halloween too, because you got that inventory afterwards.
Yep.
You see the sun come up.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you guys opened. So you had a business partner for how long when you first opened?
Man, it's you know, it's a shitty story that happens a lot. Probably
that's a war story.
Industry.
That's, I mean,
in
case you didn't hear the voicemail at the start.
Yeah, I mean, shit, it is. I hear that, and it takes me back
isn't
home.
always sexy intervention parties.
He had a bit of a drinking problem, and he just didn't last. I would say off and on, you know, I do my best with anybody that I work with or work for to give them a chance over and over again. So, you know, I would see a problem and be like, yo, man, go get help. Mm-hmm. Take care of yourself. I'll be here. I got this. Don't worry. Come back, work for another 3 weeks. Same thing. Happened about 3 times. So I would say he was there for probably 9 to 10 months, but worked for about 3.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. If that.
So there were times where you told us you were, you know, trying to build out the restaurant, put in the hood, and, you know, your business partner, like, that you need help from, whether it's putting in the fucking hood or marketing or getting the health permit, whatever it might be.
Just coming up with a fucking plan.
He was there when the build out, and I look back at it now, and there's times when the health inspector comes out and you're talking with them, and he says clear cut, you need to do this first, and then he leaves, and him and I are talking. He's like, well, we're going to do this, and it was like, I look back on it, and I don't know if it's true or not, if he was trying to throw wrenches in there to, like, so it didn't happen,
right.
Or I really don't know. It sucks, but
when did you know, like, because, you know, people that want to open up their own place and, you know, they do team up, and, you know, business partnerships, some are successful, some are absolute fucking disasters. You know, when did you know that there was a change that needed to happen if you were going to keep this business open?
Man, pretty instantly after opening up. I mean, there's one time I come in and he's passed out behind the front desk.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck's going on, you know? And I'm tired. I'm like, all right, well, go sleep in your car, sleep it off. And at that point, I'm just like, oh my God, what am I going to do here? And at that time, you know, I wasn't a cook, man. I know what I like to eat. I know I can eat some food and be like, you know, that would be great if it was made with a stock. Right. But it just got to that point that I would say the 3rd time.
Yeah.
I told him, listen, man, you go get help. I want you to get help. And I've dealt with addiction before in other cases. And one thing I learned is you can't force anybody. You can't do anything
for him. He's got to want it himself.
Absolutely. You're helpless. And I told him, you know, this is what I want you to do. He said, no, I just want to work.
Yeah.
And he said, if I mess up again, I'm gone. I'll walk. That's it. And I told him, you know, I sleep on it. Take your time. That's not what I want. I want you to go get help and come back. He refused. And I would say less than like a week and a half. And it's one of those things again where you're like,
you go home, you talk to your wife, and, you know, you guys talk about, hey, this is the shit that's going on.
Yeah. Kind of. I mean, kind of. Shit, when I go home, I just want to hold the kids and be in my own oasis of goodness,
right?
You know?
That's true. That's very true.
But it was just one of those things where it was, you know, I don't know if he was forcing my hand because he didn't want to be part of it or what it was. But on that 3rd time, it was like, fuck, man, I gotta this place will close.
Yes.
If I don't make a change.
So basically,
and that's what it came down to.
You had to then adapt and figure out, okay, I don't know how to cook.
Yeah.
And now I got to fucking teach myself and make sure these recipes are good and then come up with procedures and how to do it. And then you kind of,
and I've seen it.
Put your own flair on stuff after that?
Absolutely, 100%. And I've seen people cook. I've been in the industry forever. I've got a relative idea of it. And
well, you see,
as a bartender,
you know what sells and what doesn't sell.
Absolutely.
I mean, fuck, when you work in the business long enough, you see the things that are successful and the things that people come in, they keep coming back for. And then you see it's like, well, why the fuck are you like, yeah, you might have a great idea as a chef to put that menu item out, but if no one sells it, it doesn't do any good.
And help too in my sense of being in the restaurant, knowing that is creating a menu and being able to cross proteins with different options and knowing that like I can't just I want this on the menu when it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Like I basically scaled it down, was like, all right, I know I could do these things. This is what we're going to do. And I read a ton. I mean, even before, I like reading cookbooks. I like reading beer. I used to make beer, all that stuff. So,
any good barbecue books you'd recommend that you read that had an impact on you?
In all honesty, it was a lot of the just cooking in general.
Yeah.
Because I was starting from square one. God, I can't think of the name of the book, but the owner of Husk, God, he has a book, and I have it in my shop, and it is awesome. And I have the Franklin book in my shop.
Yep.
It's good as well. That's a great book. But as for barbecue, I took it from what I knew. I knew that I'm going to brine this meat, and I had to work with the brine. I had to get the brine to what I wanted it to be. It's changed so many times. Not only that, but the amount of time that's in the meat and which meat stays in the brine for X amount of times.
Yeah.
Because I would read something and then try it and be like, nah, I don't like that. That's not what I want. So now I've got that down, like that's down. And then as for like smoking and the meat, like, yeah, I know how long the meat's supposed to be in there. I know you're not supposed to fucking go 400 and just kill the meat. Like I've had that meat before.
Yeah.
I know what it's supposed to taste like. So, and it's funny if you look at like our Yelp reviews, really, really good to start. Then there's this middle part where people are like, this sucks. This sucks.
Consistency.
Yeah. And that was mostly me just figuring shit out, man. Like for reals. Like it really was like, fuck, man, I fucked that
this
up.
Is really
like,
fucking good. Oh, this is okay. You're like, oh, that was me.
Yeah.
And then now it's changed.
Right?
Now it's back to like being really good all the time. And the menu is rad. Like I'm so proud of like what we do.
Well, you take that pride in the quality presentation as well as the pride in the process. Yeah. And like the process in barbecue is just something that there's no bullshitting around it. You know, it's so funny when I see, Carl's Jr. or Arby's, they're like
Baby
smoked
back.
fucking meats. Like we're adding smoked burger, a smoked rib burger. And you're like, what the fuck are you adding? There's no
It's
smoker.
impossible.
There's no smoker at Carl's Jr. I'll tell you that much. Like you're smoking it fucking in Minneapolis and then you're freezing it and you're sending it out and then you're going to fucking put it in the microwave and put it on a burger. Like that's not what low and slow cooking process is.
They had a great commercial though that
I love the commercials because it promotes barbecue. So I'm all about go ahead and spend that fucking money because then it makes people think about barbecue. That's good for us.
There's the one where it's like Carl's Jr. strong barbecue tradition since 2016. Like, and you're like, dude, that's kind of funny. Like, you guys get it. Like, I mean, what you're doing ain't barbecue, but
I mean, it is good when big companies can make fun of themselves, especially on social media.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah.
It actually like, makes you like.
I actually appreciate.
Now I can relate to you a little bit. Now it's a little bit better when you're not holding yourself to this crazy standard. You're like, oh. They're actually normal.
So you realize it is shit just to slow it for $4.
Right.
So tell us about the menu. What are the menu highlights?
Tell us about the fucking Cubano sandwich. Shit, man.
Boom.
Yeah, I'm so proud of that sandwich, man. That sandwich, and that one went through like a couple different changes. Like I make the mojo sauce like in-house from scratch. The garlic encrusted, the rub that we put on it is very traditional. And it's done right. That's all it is that it's done right. It's cooked in the mojo sauce, like on the flat top, pressed. I mean, the only thing that's missing is that bread. and we can't do the bread
Right.
because of the
Bread
water
is
here.
fucking hard.
It's impossible. It's science.
When you care that
can't.
much about quality, I mean, we have fresh bread brought to us daily.
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
you have to.
We definitely do the fresh bread, but like getting that Cuban bread over here on the West Coast is impossible. The humidity, the bread's going to rise different. The water's different. Like it's like New York
like getting
pizza,
an Amorosa roll from, like a Philly Amorosa roll is going to be fucking totally different in Philly.
And it's 100% the water.
It is.
Yeah.
Always the
fucking
water. And the humidity.
A lot of these breweries that are leaving, or not leaving, but are opening up like another place out in North Carolina. Like, I don't know, who's fucking, everyone's trying to, get new breweries out there.
A footprint on the East Coast. Yeah.
And it's like, you go out there, their water is different. The parts per million is completely different. Yep. It's going to change the complexity of your beer 100%.
Yeah. Well, we're fucking lucky we even have water in San Diego.
In
Thank you,
San
Colorado.
Diego, I've heard that we have hands down the worst water in like all of the United States because we get it from the Colorado River and we're the last place.
The last place.
That gets it before it goes to Tijuana. You know what happens when you go to Tijuana and drink the water.
Oh, do you drink the water?
I don't. But you know what happens. Yeah.
Yeah. You go with the tequila. Tequila's a much better option.
Tecate Light. It's basically
Tecate
water.
Light, right?
It's great.
Exactly.
So what else? What else you got? Menu highlights.
And then from there, it's the sandwich and the menu in general is all regional barbecue or regional sandwiches. The Cubano being one that isn't one of the only non-smoke sandwiches that we have on there, but it's a tradition in Florida, and that's part of America, and it's a bad sandwich, so it stays.
Yeah.
And then we do Alabama white barbecue chicken, which is phenomenal.
Yep.
If you've never had white barbecue sauce, try it. It's amazing. And the chicken that we do, I think it's just phenomenal. Then we do two pulled porks, Carolina, KC. We've got a Southwest chicken. It just is trying to give people a feeling of being home when they move to San Diego. San Diego works out to be such a great place for that. Like you can't go to Texas and be like, hey, we're going to do regional barbecue because everybody in Texas is going to be like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah,
this is Texas.
Fuck you.
This is barbecue. None of this is. But in San Diego, where it's nothing but transplants, it actually works really well. And I get people from North Carolina that will come in and like have that sandwich and want that sandwich.
Yep.
And then people from, Kansas City that will come in and they want the KC. So in a sense, it is kind of trying to play to everybody, but keep it authentic.
Well, I mean,
the same set.
You're playing to everybody, but you said it earlier. You said that you had to scale down. And I think, one of the things we talk about on this podcast multiple times is just because you can do it doesn't mean you should.
Absolutely.
The more that we've reduced menu items on our menu, the better that we've been as a restaurant. I mean, the quality goes up. You have, better quality control on all the different recipe procedures. Everything that comes in the door, you're able to inspect, and, you can take pride in what's going out in every single menu item.
I think that's huge too. And simplicity sometimes is like the best thing. You start with a simplistic menu, figure out what you're good at, figure out your niche, and then you can kind of feed off those. When you try to start out too broad, you're going to get fucked. You're going to lose so much product. You lose so much product when you try to have your menu too big.
And I feel that's true almost in, I guess, the culinary aspect now. I mean, there was 10 years ago, everything was this crazy fusion style food, everything like that. And I think now we've gone back to just simplicity.
Yeah.
Less is more. Give me a good piece of meat that is taken care of and treated well.
On good bread.
Well,
yes.
On good bread. And just as basic and simple.
Right.
And you're just
quality
blown away.
produce. Like, you don't even think it's like, you can get shitty lettuce. I mean, we've talked about it. You can get shitty tomato.
We talked about it with Brody's Burgers and Beer. They
put
do
a fucking
phenomenal
great
job.
tomato on there, and it changes. It's a
Whole
game
different
changer.
level. Yeah.
It literally changes the entire sandwich.
And it's so basic. Like it really is. Like you talk about their burgers, like how good that burger is. And you can go to another place and get a burger, same burger. And it is just awful.
It's shit.
Because they didn't.
It was a frozen
concentrate on
patty,
that
or
stuff.
they didn't, or it was, a fresh patty that they didn't hand make and they didn't put the seasoning in.
You can always tell.
You can tell.
Yeah.
You can tell.
Even with
fucking
the
right away.
buns.
Yeah.
I know Brody's, they get bread and sea buns, delivered all the time. It's like, you can just fucking tell.
It's crazy because it doesn't matter the food operation. It can be anywhere. It can be a stand. It can be at a golf course. Like the ones that are successful are the ones that take the time to make the right purchasing decisions that will actually impact that menu item. Kind of like what you've started to do with your fried chicken.
Yeah, absolutely. That fried chicken is so basic. It is.
Fried chicken is fucking
But we
amazing.
brine it, and it is that brine that we put it in is just so perfect for a bird, and it is unbelievably juicy fried chicken.
So what do you do it by pieces or by half?
It's a quarter.
It's a quarter.
It's a leg quarter. So a thigh and a leg, and we do that. Basically, meat by itself, $9, but you can add a side, and it's $11. And if
How
you
are
get
you frying that?
it's just flour. And actually the seasoning for our flour, we use the rub. So
Sure.
we try to keep all our flavors consistent so that you're eating at our place. Well, at the same time, making sure everything doesn't taste the same.
Sure. Oh yeah, no, for sure.
And so we just put that in the flour. We don't use buttermilk or anything. It's just floured then dropped in.
Awesome.
And yeah, it takes 15, 20 minutes. We always try to encourage people to like call ahead so that when they get there, their chickens had time to cool too.
Sure.
God,
Oh yeah, eating right out of the fucking fryer, boy.
If
Better
people
watch
do
out.
that, I'm bringing it over. I'm bringing like the fork and the knife over. I'm like, cut it first. Just don't go jumping right into that, man. You can get it could be pretty hot. But that fried chicken is unreal. It is really good. My wife gets mad if I don't bring home fried chicken.
What's surprising, like, I wouldn't think fried chicken could be bad. And then you can fucking have some really bad fried chicken.
Get frozen chicken.
Yeah,
you get frozen chicken.
Times
fried
I'm like,
chicken.
are you fucking kidding me?
go to
even the quality you're getting too. It's like, how old are your birds that you're getting? Am I getting this fucking little tiny little leg quarter? Am I getting like a good quality?
You've got to care about the actual product that you bring in. You know, like you can do you can have a wing restaurant, but if it's fucking frozen wings, then you're putting out shit.
Garbage.
If you bring in fresh chicken and you do the breading yourself and you care about the oil and you change the oil and it's the fucking right temperature, like that shit is hard work.
And
but it's pretty fucking basic.
When you go to a place and you take a bite and you're like, oh man, that oil hasn't been changed in a while. You can tell.
Yeah.
I mean, I can tell.
It's in a second.
I can tell
100%.
looking at it, and then when I bite into it,
or if
I'm
you're
just
crossing
like,
it a bunch of times with different things,
yeah.
you're like trying like, oh, I can definitely.
My fish tastes like chicken. That's not right. Wait a minute.
Yeah,
here.
exactly.
Like, it's crazy. And
But yeah, I mean, we have people that come in. They're like, "How are your fucking chicken wings so good?" And it's like, "Well, we care.
Yeah,
we care,
that's
and
all
we're
it
giving
comes
you
down
the
to.
fresh. We're giving you the freshest shit that we can possibly get. And if it's not fresh, guess what? We tell them take it back.
Yeah, it's gone.
Take it back. We're not going to fucking use it. What about ribs?
The ribs are the weekend. We do ribs on the weekend, Saturday, Sunday.
Pork ribs, beef ribs.
St. Louis cut.
St. Louis cut.
We fabricate them ourselves, which leaves us with the rib tips. And I love
Sure.
cooking with rib tips. I put them in my beans. I put them in my greens.
Nice.
I love cooking with those things.
Do you what brand are you using for your? Do you go
For the ribs?
Yeah.
Well, we go to Restaurant Depot. So there's the Seaboard, which if I have to, I'll get them. But the other one is IBS or
IBP?
Yeah. Those are usually the bigger ones. Those are the ones I like to get. That's a nice rib right there. And then the Seaboard too. Sometimes it comes and I don't know who cut that rib,
Right.
but it's like,
But
dude, now I'm not getting my tips.
Just so you know, too, with that, a lot of times, Restaurant Depot's getting the rejections or the ones that didn't pass, like what they
looks
wanted
like
to,
it.
so that they can get it for a cheaper price a lot of times. Yeah. But I know Sean does this too, and we do it. We spec it out. Like I get Seaboard, but I have a Seaboard rep.
Yeah.
He knows exactly what we want, what sizes we want. Don't give me a fucking 3-pound St. Louis rib. I'm not going to fucking take it, you know?
Yeah.
And
No,
after a few years of dealing with him, he's like, you have no idea how many times I've had to pull boxes off him. He's like, Derek's going to fucking reject that, and it's going to cost us money to have to bring it back. Do not put it on his fucking pallet.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
So,
and I'll get the Seaboard just because I have to. But the IBN or IBP, that one is definitely the best ones that we can get.
They're huge. They're a huge company.
Yeah, I like those, and they're good. Like I said, we fabricate them ourselves.
Well,
we sell out too, so I always try to tell people if it's Friday or if it's Saturday, Sunday, and you think you're going to get ribs, please give us a call.
How many racks you try to do a day?
We fill it up. It's about 8 racks a day.
Yeah.
So, and that's the smoker completely full. It's not the biggest smoker, and we're not the biggest kitchen.
Yeah.
But I'll fill it up and do as much as I can with it. You know.
Well, I mean, for us, just figuring out smoking times based off of serve time. I mean, that is to this day one of the most difficult things because you're doing a smoker dance.
Yeah.
I mean, you're trying to figure out what meats to get in at what times so that you have the absolute best quality product.
I mean, going back to like when I first started and taking over the kitchen, I'm here trying to get the ribs out as fast as I can. And I was selling them at lunch, and I just knew I was looking at them. Some days they were awesome. Some days I'm like, man, that could use more smoke.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in my head. I'm thinking, do I just push it at night? Do I not push it at night? And the reader put out an article, and it was a really good article, man.
Mm-hmm.
It was a really honest article, which I really appreciate.
Do you know who the writer was?
I don't. Off the top of my head, I do not remember.
Because if it was Ian Pike, he's a piece of shit.
Ian Pike. Okay, all right. Well, he can
go fuck himself.
He was fucking. He loved the greens. Said they're the best greens in San Diego. Loved the sandwich, all that. And then he said the ribs were tough. He was like, they should be more smoke. And I told him, I was thinking about doing it later. And that I just reading that article made me switch. Now I do them at 4:00. They come off at 4. They've got the right amount of smoke, and they're done right. You're right. Here's a tough piece of shit.
Well, I mean, being a restaurant owner, you're going to get great reviews, hopefully, and you're going to get shitty reviews. And what you do with those reviews, if you're objective like you were, it made you improve your process.
Well, he came in the first week we opened, and was like, fucking trash the place. I was like, man, we just opened. Like, the bread was too big, but we get our bread from a Mexican bakery, and I had to work with them to scale it down.
You guys weren't advertising with the reader, were you?
No, God, not at all.
Yeah.
We
were, and then this fucking guy came in and ripped us a new one. Talked about our Bulgarian beer. I'm like, what the fuck do you know about Bulgarian beer? You don't know shit. And he makes this a point of emphasis in his article, and I was just like, whatever, fuck you. We're not advertising with you guys anymore.
Yeah.
And then my rep is like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, we don't control our journalists. I'm like, journalists at the Reader, get fucking serious.
Yeah.
Like, it's the Reader. Like, you guys, Reader. It's a picture magazine. It's a coloring book.
It's get your medical marijuana card here.
Yeah, exactly. It's all pot ads now.
That's all it is.
Well, speaking of, how often do you go to Restaurant Depot?
Every day. It's an everyday get up and go kind of deal. My kitchen's just not big enough to hold.
Let me ask you a question that I love to ask other restaurant owners. Why the fuck don't they care about their customers? It's mind blowing to me. And I wish somebody that listens to this podcast knows somebody at fucking Restaurant Depot. Like, please train your staff to care. We're in the hospitality business. These are chefs. These are owners. These are all managers. We're all busy as fuck. And we go down there and we're like, I need to buy these margarita glasses. I can't get one person to fucking help me buy margarita glasses. I need a specific spoon. They're not stocked. I go and I ask. Nobody wants to get anything. It's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I know you guys got a great business because it's busy as fuck. But guess what? Like, we care so much about our customers. Like, please start caring about us.
Like I said, every year for fucking almost 3 years now, I've been going there, and
I don't know. I don't know how the fuck
I go
you do
to
it.
the same.
It drives me nuts.
3 cashiers, and I have worked so hard to crack them. I'm a pretty friendly person. I go to my bread place. Everybody loves me. You're like a bartender. You know what I mean? I'm going to crack these people.
Yeah.
I can finally get some smiles out of a couple of them now. But 3 years ago, 3 fucking years. Yeah. There's some people I just see and I won't go. I'm like, I'm not going in that line. I don't
know if it's a culture problem or what it is, but it's just like, and
it's those numbers they're dealing with. I don't know. It's.
I mean, the volume that they deal with, I like to think that restaurant owners and chefs and, people in the hospitality business that we're not shitty people, but maybe we are fucking assholes and we deserve to be treated the way that we're treated.
Maybe it's all those frozen wing people.
maybe it is. That's funny. So tell us about, you guys had a couple huge events. I mean, summertime's a big time up at the shop. You had just recently, this last weekend was a Pride Parade.
Pride was awesome. It was busy as hell. I mean, we crushed it in that restaurant. I mean, we had the kitchen stocked with food, and by 6 p.m. we were out. And you guys know, doing barbecue, when you're out, you're fucking out.
There's nothing you can just whip it up real quick.
Get ready for tomorrow. And that's what it was. And I appreciate and want to thank everybody that came out. And that event's great, especially for that community.
Sure.
They just, each year in the 3 years that I've been there, it's just gotten better and better. And it's a good fucking party.
Yeah.
It really is.
No, I've seen it a few times too, and it seems like it's becoming a lot more like it was like this years ago a crazier party and people were going, being like in crazy costumes, and now it's like actually really about like the community and getting the.
Well, that's one of the best parts. I mean, we talked to John Brackmonte from Brazen, and he's talked about how Hillcrest, how they support each other, and it's something that other restaurants support each other, and like that's, if a community event is a successful event, it should be pulling businesses together.
The Hillcrest Business Association is great, man. We opened up and had the pit outside and had a neighbor complain, and I bent over backwards for this guy. I want to be good to my neighbors, like it's something that I really want to do. And he complained, so I actually cut my smoking down to once every 3 days or something like that, and just packed it full and was trying to do that. And Hillcrest Business Association came out. They knew exactly who the guy was. He had been giving businesses in that whole area problems. Just when they got liquor license, he was the one appealing it. When Trust opened up, they were 3 months back because of this guy. And they told me, they're like, just go ahead, smoke every day. You get a problem, you come to us, we'll take care of it. That's awesome. So we started doing it. Huge. And I did have somebody from the city come out, and he even looked, it was just like, I don't think this is going to be a problem. He's like, I'll go talk to the guy and see what it's like up at his house. But he's like, man, this does not look like an issue to me.
My buddy had that same issue over in La Mesa. Like this one guy across the street, every restaurant that went into this location, he was always complaining. Yeah. Oh, there's music, or there's this, there's that. And he's always trying to shut him down. Finally, they're just like, we're not fucking listening to your complaints anymore. You complain about every fucking thing. We can't
and that's what Hillcrest Business Association said. They're like, if he wanted to quiet area, he can move to the suburbs. He didn't. It was a business district when he bought it there. I mean, Park and Robinson's a beast. It's a loud, crazy intersection.
Oh, sure.
Don't move there if you want a quiet neighborhood. Yeah. It's just not,
And
then he was vegetarian too. And I told him,
he didn't like the smoked hog. Go figure.
I was like, man, come down. I've got a vegetarian options. I'll take care of you, bro. And nah, he just wanted to complain. He probably wasn't even a vegetarian, to be honest. Yeah.
So the best place for people to find you is Smok'd Hog on Facebook and on Instagram.
Yeah, Facebook, Instagram. That's definitely our best way to find us.
Best way to find you. And
you can get on the website from there. Our menu changes all the time. So we keep it updated on the website. It's hard to get a printed menu when every 4 months it's a new fucking menu.
Oh, tell us about it.
It's crazy, right?
I just brought Corey into the menu making world, and he's just like, yeah, I want to work on getting, really cool craft beers in here. I'm like, listen, man, you can have the fucking keys. You can do whatever you want. You have to work with Eric, our GM. He does all the purchasing, but it's a process. And
I told Corey that right when you guys first started doing that, because I know
you know from all of us, all the times we've asked you, right? Like, what should we put on tap?
And what you can't always do because of the menus. But then at some point, it's like, if Corey wants to fucking take those reins, boy.
Yeah. Get it. But I mean, as long as you create a process, then you can get results. And we're getting amazing results with our craft beer program because he cares enough to go through and figure out, well, what do I need to do to get, I need to get approval from Eric. He's got to make sure the price point works. He's got to make sure that, the vendor can deliver it. Yeah. And now I need to get it, the design so it gets on the menu, because if it's not on the menu, then the servers aren't going to talk about it. The bartenders will talk about it because people come up and they don't even look at the menu. They look straight at the tap handles. But yeah, it's a process, and if you want to have evolving, changing menu, you've got to dedicate yourself to that process.
Absolutely. I think we're going to try to stick with the seasons.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have beer, we don't have liquor, so it's just the food.
Is that something you guys want to do?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, not in that location. And that's kind of the problem. We're at that point where it's time to grow. We need to get something bigger. But that location, when you sell out of food at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock at night, you're missing the drinking crowd, Right.
Yep.
What are you going to do? And then if you bring food or beer in, then you're going to sell food faster and be out even quicker.
Yeah. Right.
So it just doesn't really work in the location we're in now.
Where are you guys looking? Are you guys looking at any new places or?
Not. If I see it, I'll know. It's definitely because we're at that point, but we're not there yet. I don't want to overextend myself by any means. You can get in trouble like that. And so if something comes up and it makes sense, then we'll do it.
Mhm.
But yeah, I you know,
Would you keep this one too?
see, that's the you know, the $1 million question is, do I keep this one, open up a second one? Obviously I quit bartending, but do
Yeah.
I have that time to work 2 different places or be into 2 spots as one?
Right.
So, you know, do I grind it out for 2 more years and go to the Small Business Bureau and tell them, hey man, I got a profitable business here. I've got 0 debt. Give me money. Let me go buy a second one.
Yeah.
Or do I,
I'd say fuck
and I
that. Go
hate-
find the money elsewhere.
Yeah.
Banks and small business bureau, they should, their whole purpose should be to generate money.
If you need help raising money,
Yeah.
this time
Yeah.
talk. We'll get you in touch with the right people, and
Nice.
you know, banks will fucking bend
They'll
you over
fucking
and
screw you.
Yeah.
You know,
I
and,
definitely don't like dealing with the banks.
Yeah.
I mean, I did go to the Small Business Bureau and it seemed good, but you know, I've always had that dream of owning it 100% myself.
Dude, you can get
But you
fucking,
get-
you can
yeah.
get 3.5-4% money right now.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fucking free.
Yeah.
It's basically fucking free money. So don't do anything silly yet.
So you're
Yeah.
one of the coolest parts about this podcast is, I mean, we get to learn more about what drives people in business, what drives them in marketing, what drives them to want to fucking put in a five shifts bartending at Hard Rock and then own your own business. So for anyone else out there that doesn't think that they can do it, just fucking stop by the Smok'd Hog and say what's up to Chris
Yeah.
and realize he has 2 beautiful daughters at home and this guy's doing everything he can to live his dream. But yeah, part of the podcast allows us the time. You know, we had such a fucking great time visiting you.
Yeah,
And the podcast made us go out and spend time with you and hear more about who you are as a man, and who you are as a man. Nothing but respect. I mean, nothing but respect, because, you know, we know how fucking hard it is. And
I love talking to people that own businesses as well, because you don't fucking know until you've done it.
No, it's
Yeah.
the truth.
It's a trip. It really
And now
is.
throwing these events too. I mean, fuck.
Oh, I mean,
we got Del Mar coming up on
that's
August
one of
20th.
that's one of the coolest things, is it becomes a celebration of all these people that, you know, we've not only have we had on the podcast, but we've become friends with, you know, that we can go out to Del Mar and not only have these professional barbecue teams that are coming from all over the country to compete, you know, and give out people's choice, but now we can also bring local restaurants that people can try their barbecue at one spot all at one time, bet on the ponies, and then they can actually go and visit you afterwards.
You're going to
from
hear
San
this
Diego.
shit, and people are going to be like, "Dude, I didn't even know you were there."
Yeah.
Oh, you
And
get
now
it
they're
all the
like,
time.
I work right down the street.
Yeah.
You know, and that-
Or I was
you're
there.
gonna get
I need to go, you know, I take my kids to the zoo, and like now we just stop and we pick
stop
up a
and
fucking,
fucking Smok'd Hog and grab some grub and go. It's better than the $14 hot dog at the zoo.
yeah, that's true.
It's a trip. These events, we don't make money on them. We don't. They're chaotic as hell.
Chaotic as hell, because
But
you have you have your business,
Yeah.
and then you have this separate event that you're putting on that you're, you know, taking from the business to make sure that this event works, so that it works. You know.
Absolutely. And then in some way, it's a celebration of like your business. You know
Yes.
what I mean? Like it's a good day.
Absolutely.
Like as crazy as it is and as chaotic as it is, it's a good day and you enjoy it and it's great for your business. And I don't know, I guess that's why we're all crazy.
I mean, absolutely nothing has given the marketing value than doing offsite stuff, because it's forced us to become better at catering, to become better at tailgating, to become better at giving back.
Yeah.
And it forces us to hire better. It's forced us to go out and exactly what you said. We take pride in the fact it becomes a celebration. Fuck, we
Absolutely.
even made it out here.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
we made it
We're
out
doing
here,
this
and the
today.
restaurant's still open. Like, you know, now we're winning no matter what happens. You know, and something might go wrong. We might not bring enough food, or, you know, whatever might
Something
happen.
would
But
definitely go wrong. Always.
that's for sure.
Always.
That's for sure. Something definitely will go wrong.
But you get out of it, man. You figure it out.
But yeah, so you're going to be up there at Del Mar this year.
Absolutely.
And that's that's really, really exciting for us.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. We're just excited to have other local barbecue places coming out and being able to show off. You know, hey, we're on the fucking map. We can do this stuff.
And we really are. San
Yeah.
Diego barbecue is great, man. It's so different. Like
Yeah.
all our barbecue is different. It's all unique in its own right.
Sure.
And it's pretty cool, man. It's really cool.
Well, we want people to go and check you out, follow you on Facebook, Smok'd Hog, follow you on Instagram, follow your story. We want people to stop in. I mean, if they hear the podcast, nothing's cooler than they go in, hey, I heard you on the podcast.
Yeah.
You know, talk to you. How did you do it? You know, what do you, any advice?
I'm saying they might be going through some of the same shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
if something sparks, an interest in somebody else, the same way that, Mike from the Brigantine did in that one meeting, now you're employing people, you're giving back. I mean, you're providing jobs, you're a part of a community,
Absolutely.
and it's something that's really exciting, and it's something that gets you fired up. We do have stickers. We've been getting hit up.
Yeah,
we have people
got tons of stickers, guys,
all over the country that are tuning into the podcast. We can't. I mean, we're so grateful for the opportunity to be able to record. I mean, shit.
Just that anyone's fucking even listening to us.
I know, right?
I know my kids don't listen to me.
No, my wife doesn't listen to me. My son doesn't listen to me, but we do appreciate those that do listen. Be sure to tell a friend, somebody that might be thinking about opening up a business, or somebody that actually wants to hear people really tell you what's going on.
And if you guys have any honest, true questions and you want to just reach out, and just always feel free to reach out. You can hit me up at Derek@valleyfarmmarkets.com for my email, or you can just find me on Instagram or
tweet
Facebook.
or tweet at him.
Don't fucking tweet at me.
Once I take over your account, then I'll
tweet
you back.
I don't know how to, bro, I'm like, I look at it, and I'm like, I don't even know how to fucking do
what
this.
the fuck?
I had to call you the other day. I'm like, how do I even
just
I don't even know what I'm doing.
You're just like publicly texting is pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
It's just a public text. But yeah, we're really excited. For those of you that do make it out to Del Mar, Craig, he hooked it up big time and hooked up 500 tickets for the races, the Charger event on Saturday. This is going to come out on Friday. So if you're up at the races, be sure to say hi. We'll be out there. We're really fired up. It's, summertime. Opening day is this Wednesday. It's a great time to be cooking barbecue. It's a great time to be in business. Be sure to engage with us. Let us know any questions you have or anything else that we can do. We're all about it.
We appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Chris. Appreciate you, man. We can't wait to hang out up in Del Mar. We're gonna have a fucking blast.
Yes.
It'd be great.